again, kids. So we're picking up on the present subjunctive right now. We were at last video taking the verb capio capora, to take or to seize, and we were putting it in the present subjunctive. So here we go. I'm just going to go ahead and make my chart, and like I said, you should have already done this. So you're just simply checking yourself to see how it went. Okay, so what you actually do is you go to the the second word, you take off 3 letters. That leaves you with a stem of CAP. Now we're using our phrase, we hear a liar friar. So if you remember, we decided that capio capora was the third IO. So our vowels are IA. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in there. Okay. Now what you go ahead and do is you put your Mickey Mouse song endings on there. They can be present or they can be active or passive. So if it's active, use an M this time instead of an O. Remember, you always have that option. And then S, T, M-U-S, T-I-S, and N-T. And you can make it passive by, of course, adding our Dale Earnhardt Jr. endings, Arister, Merminienter. Okay, so you have your options there. Let's try one more. Let's go ahead and use the verb. Why don't we use the verb to give? We're going to use dono, not do dare, but dono, simply because it's nice and easy. To give. So immediately you should be like, okay, it's first conjugation. We're going to go ahead and make our chart. Okay. We're going to go to the second word, the present infinitive, and we're going to take off 3. So that leaves us with our stem D-O-N. I'm writing that down in each blank. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to my we hear a liar friar, and I'm going to say, okay, well, it's first conjugation. So I'm worried all about the E's. So you put your E's in there. Okay, and then you go ahead and add your endings. I'm going to stay with the active. And you're done. So now that we've discussed the form of the present subjunctive, we need to talk about how you translate it. Technically, you can't translate the present subjunctive on its own. You can't translate any tense of the subjunctive on its own. It kind of fluctuates with the type of clause it's in. So first, let's go ahead and look at the 2 clauses we're worried about in this chapter. So let's go ahead and turn to page 188. Okay, 188. So the first type of clause we're going to use with the present subjunctive is called the jussive subjunctive. Sometimes it's also called the hortatory as well. This is a slight command. A perfect example of this that you guys have seen before is in poem 5. Let us live, my Lesbia, and let us love, and let us value all the rumors of severe old men as only 1 penny. All right? If you look at the first word in that poem, it is a present subjunctive verb. A-M-E-M-U-S. Let us live. So let us is actually how you translate the jussive. It's kind of like a let. All right? So here we go. Let's look at some examples. We've got cogitem nunc de hac re et tum non errabo. Let me now think about this matter, and then I will not make a mistake. The let is coming from the fact that cogitem is a present subjunctive. If you actually conjugated cogito, normally in the present indicative, it would look like cogito. But when we're using we hear a liar friar, specifically the E from we, In the subjunctive, it switches to cogitem. So with that form, we know, hey, this could be adjussive. So let me think. Okay? You're saying me because instead of I, because let I think is kind of odd. But let me think sounds very regular to us in English. Okay, so let's look at the next example. We've got discipulus, discat, aut discedat. Let the student either learn or leave. The let is coming from the present subjunctives of these two verbs. All right, discora is third conjugation. So in the phrase, we hear a liar friar, it's the A. Okay, discedo, discetera is also third conjugation. So if it was an indicative verb, it would have an E there instead of an A. All right, so let. There's our jussive. Here we go again. Doceamus magna cum delectatione linguam latinam. Let us teach the Latin language with great delight. Okay, so let us is coming from the EA. This is from the we hear, the hear word EA, because doceo is second conjugation. So let us. And then ne id faciamus. Let us not do this. There's your IA from friar, and we hear a liar friar. It's important to note that when you're doing a negative for these, you use ne. Non is not correct. Use ne, because technically these are slight commands. And then finally we have audiant illi viri et feminae esse fortes. Let those men and women dare to be brave. And there is your EA from the word hear in our phrase, we hear a liar friar. Okay, I'm going to stop right now at this video and then pick up purpose clauses in the next video.